Hi, Skyline Brokers. This is Cameron Nozer with the Northgate Seattle office. Today I'm going to show you guys how to write an offer for a condominium. I'm going to go through the process, some of the things to watch out for, such as resale certificates, making sure a property is FHA approved, and then the structure of how I use transaction desk to actually write that offer. So yeah, let's begin. So first off, I'm going to show you how I would look at things in the MLS. So let's say, for instance, I want to write an offer on this condominium. So I'll click on the condo. And then first of all, I'll read through all the information, read through the HOA, the broker remarks to find out what information there is about the HOA. And right here it says, no key box on sign allowed by HOA, use showing time, schedule appointments, secure access, fidelity, national title, closer, Deanon. It also says no special assessments, rental cap of 2 units that has been met. So from there, you know that there's no special assessment. A special assessment is when the HOA decides to do a substantial repair, and when they don't have enough funds to be able to pay for that repair in their reserves, that will be distributed to the homeowners as a lump sum or a monthly cost. So with this unit specifically, there's no special assessment. With looking at a condo, things to watch out for a special assessment is going to be, first of all, finding out that they have a good reserve, and then looking at the outside of the property. So, for instance, this one looks like it's a newer property, new siding, new roof, so new windows. But then also you want to make sure that, there's no major issues. You look over the HOA docs, you'll look over the minute, and then you'll also make sure that they have a substantial reserve. So once I've looked over that, I'll also open up the supplements, and I'll see, so they do have the CC&Rs. They do have a utilities addendum, legal description, seller disclosure. So I'll review the seller disclosure, make sure there's nothing major. The one thing that they don't have here is the resale certificate or the HOA docs. So I'll reach out to the owner, the listing broker, and see if they do have a copy of it. If not, I'll put a request in my offer that it's sent over to us to review. Next thing I want to look at is to make sure, what kind of financing the property is approved for. So I'll start with just the listing itself to see if they advertise it as a FHA approved property. So we'll come to the financing, which is located my eyes are, it's very sunny in here, which is located right here. And you can see it's underneath potential terms. You can see that this property is only approved for cash out conventional. If I want to verify that myself, you can go to other websites. So I will check, there's the HUD's website. So I'll just type in FHA properties HUD. And then I'll come to this website. So right here is a condominium, condominiums HUD.gov. And you can type in the property information and see if it's that's important because there's a lot of buyers, new buyers who want to use FHA. So you'd want to clarify that the property is actually approved for FHA. Once I've verified all those things, I can start drafting up my offer. So I'll come over to the listing, and then I will click on this button that'll open up transaction desk. So once I'm in transaction desk, in there, I can start drafting up my offer. You can either come to transaction desk and create a transaction right here, or you can click on this button right next to the photo right here that'll automatically take you to transaction desk and know what property you're writing the offer for. So yeah, it recognized the property address. I don't pick a template because I like to upload my own, the forms I would like to use. I would change the residential sale to condominium sale because it's a condo. And then I would just leave everything else like it is. And I click create. There, I'd go through and verify all the details to make sure that they're accurate. So condominium sale, open, the address looks correct. Year built looks correct. You know, this is all auto-populated. Here's where I put my purchase price. So if I was going to offer full price, I would just go full. And then I would click next. All right, so here's where I put my dates in. So if I'm putting my offer in tomorrow, I'll put the purchase and sale agreement date for tomorrow. Depending on expiration, so you know, if they're asking for a certain expiration, you can do what they're asking for. But I typically like to give 24 hours. So I'll put it for the 30th, which gives them till 9 p.m. on the 30th. There's no mutual acceptance date, closing date. So, you know, I need to check with my lender to verify how quickly they can close. Some lenders can even do like 21, 22 days if their loan's already been seen by an underwriter. But please make sure to verify that and when you're looking at dates to put your closing date on, you don't want to put it on weekends. You don't want to put it on holidays. So be aware of that. Find a date that's not a holiday, you know, especially at this time of the year when we have Christmas coming up and New Year's. So find a day that's not a holiday. So let's just put it on the 28th. All right, so this is where I update my contacts. So it already knows the seller's contacts because it pulls it from the matrix system. It knows that you are the buyer's broker. And now here's where you can add your sellers. So if you already have them as a transaction contact, you can just go to add existing contact. If you don't, you'll have to create a new contact. So I will put buyer John Doe. Email is johnD@gmail.com. All right, and then I'll click save. Then I'll hit next. Right, add my forms. The forms that you're going to need for a condominium purchase and sale, for the most part, you know, all transactions are a little bit different, but the ones that are going to be standard is going to be your condominium purchase and sale, which is the form 28. Keep scrolling down. So if we're doing financing, we want to add a 22A. Doing if I always want to put an optional clause because that's where most of the HOA information is. The FERPTA, the utilities, we already saw that all on the supplements. If the condo is built before 1978, you want to add a lead-based paint. If it's contingent, you can add a 22Q or a 22B, the contingency. And then as we scroll down, I see that brokers use this form a lot, the title contingency addendum. I see it as sort of a pointless repetitive form because you are protected for clean and clear title in the purchase and sale agreement. So I typically don't use that. It makes your offer weaker. So if you're doing an inspection, you do a form 35. Say we're going to do an inspection. And then if you want to put an escalation, which this one seems like it might be competitive, I'm going to add the escalation. If you decide you want to waive, you could do a 35. And then if you just need a blank form to draft anything, use form 34. So I'll click on add. All right, so this is where you're going to see all the supplements that we looked at originally. So the forms that we are going to be part of our offers, the 22E, the 17, the legal, the 22K. So we don't need to upload those forms because they're already here as supplements. Click done. All right, now I can just start drafting my paperwork. I'll start with the form 28. Start going down line by line. So the declaration recording number is typically attached to the exhibit A. So let me just verify that. I will open up the exhibit A, which is the legal description. Right here, I can see King County recording number. That's the declaration recording number. So I know that it's attached in the exhibit A. So then I could just check the box for attached as exhibit A, or if I want to write it into there, I can write it into the blank spot. Next, I want to check all the appliances. So typically when I go to a property, I want to be aware of looking at the appliances, and then not only the appliances, but other things that my clients may be interested. So if there's like an outdoor gazebo, if there is, a hot tub or something that I want to make sure that I include in the offer, I keep an eye out and I talk about that with my client before submitting the offer. But with this property, I can go back and either look through the pictures or go down and see what appliances are included. So right here, you'll see the appliances. So dishwasher, dryer, garbage disposal, microwave, refrigerator, stove, range, washer. So I'll check all those boxes. Sure. All right. And then I'll add the earnest money. So earnest money can be anywhere from $0 to 5%. In a competitive situation, I usually see like 3 to 5% or even more. So I'm going to be competitive with this one. Go 25K. Delivery date. So that's that's the exact date that you have to deliver it to escrow. It needs to be delivered by 9 p.m. This is very important. This can blow up a deal. So I'll put somewhere between 2 to 3 days to give my client time to either go get a cashier's check or set up the wire. And then check is always held by closing agent, as we don't have a trust account. I typically check forfeiture money, earnest money, because that protects your client more. Seller's election of remedies means they'll also be compensated for the seller's time and loss. Title and closing agent can be either looked at as what the seller already would like, but if you decide that you really want your own title company or closing agent, like for instance, we work with in-house escrow, and they offer 1 year free home warranty, and you want to push for that, then go ahead. But I'll just check the agent remarks for now, and I'll see. So the seller has requested Fidelity National Title. So I will just copy that. And the escrow closer is Dean in person. All right. So then possession can either be on closing or you can do a rent back, but for this one, it seems is vacant. 22K will request because we're going to add the form to pay for utilities. Charges, assessments levied. So this is really important. So this can be the assessment that I was talking about, or it can be any other charges, such as like a sewer capacity charge. That's why you want to verify what kind of charges there are. But if you want to protect your client, you would just check prepaid in full by seller. So your client isn't liable for that. The FERP is also a supplement, and I saw that they're not foreign investors, so I'll check that. And then public offering statement or resale certificate, because it wasn't there on the supplements and it seems that they don't have it. I'm gonna check box for deliver to buyer, and we'll give them 5 days because it typically takes about 5 days to order it. If you've already received it, you can just check the box for received. Yeah. Condominium assessment. So this will be the HOA. So you can put down how much the HOA per month. And the HOA, we can see just right here, it's 601. So I'll put 601. And then per month and deposit equal to month's assessment at closing. That's if you wanted your buyer to pay a certain number of months of the HOA dues at closing, so they don't have to worry about it for the first few months. So maybe I'll put 2 months. Information verification period. This is a 10-day verification that you can verify that everything on the listing is accurate with what they're marketing, what the truth is. So if you want to protect yourself more, I would put satisfied or waived, but it's up to you. If you want time as a contingency, you can put that. Buyer represented by buyer, seller represented by listing broker. And then I'll go down here and pay as offered for commission. And then I'll start adding the form. So I'll put 22A, 22D, 22K, 35, 35E. All right, now once I have that all filled out, I'll go and double check everything. All looks good, and then I'll move on to the next form. All right, the next form is the financing addendum. So this is something that I always want to verify with the lender, what are they planning to put down? What kind of loan type? This property is only conventional, so I'll put conventional first. You want to check to make sure you have the exact down payment. So I'll put 20%, for instance. And then this is the financing waiver section. So if you check this box, the seller would need to actually give notice for you to potentially waive financing. So if you want to protect your client, you can fill this section out. This says that if they waive financing, you will also or will not also waive appraisal. This will just cause an automatic waiver after a few days. So you can decide what you want to do in a competitive situation. But to be more protective, I'll just check seller's noticeable form that they have to send the notice. If you'd like to include closing costs, which we're seeing a little bit more these days with the slower market, you could do that, paid by seller. Yeah, and that's about it for the financing addendum. So we'll move on to the next one. So next one is going to be the 22D. So this form has a few important things to check. This thing protects you in case the square footage isn't accurate. I like to leave the section blank because the default is the strongest and cheapest title insurance. If you'd like the seller to clean the property, you can check that, but there's no really exact standard of what it needs to be cleaned to. If you want them to remove their personal property, and this just refers to what utilities are there. So public water, public sewer, it's electricity. I'll check all those boxes. The next page is the important one. So this is the HOA association review period. So since I haven't received that, I definitely want to add that to there. I'll change the days they have to get it to me by 5. And then, however many days you need to review it. So maybe like 3 days. Homeowners association transfer fee. A lot of the homeowners associations have like $150 to $350 transfer fee. So if you wanted the seller to pay it, you would check the box and do seller. But yeah, whatever you please. Excluded items. So if there's something that you want them to remove, you could put that. And then home warranty. So if you're getting a free home warranty from your title or escrow company, you can include that as well. And then 35, inspection. It's a pretty simple form. You will check the box if you want to do a sewer inspection, which I always recommend. And then you put the number of days to be able to do the inspection and get a response. Keep in mind, if you have the weekends ahead of you, 5 or less is just business days. 6 or more is total days. So you could put 4. And if you're coming up on the weekend, you can also utilize those days. So it'll add up to being like 6 or 7. This is for the seller to fill out, whether they want the inspection report or not. This is if the case you need an additional few days to do an inspection. Put 3, this is how many days the seller would need to respond. And this is the final response by the buyer. This is how many days they would do the repairs before closing. So I'll just hey, now I got all my forms filled out and I want to send it to my client for signing. So I'll go start signing. So you have to send it for signing. So because I did it from the listing itself, all the docs and everything is going to be here. So I go to add docs, add all the forms I need, the financing, the optional clause, the inspection. Oh, we forgot to fill out the escalation. We'll leave it off of our offer. The 22K, the legal, the form 17, and the for that's it. So this stuff, I don't need to add the title report. I'll just review it to make sure everything looks good. And then I like to put everything into numerical order. So I'll move the 22K up to here. 22E up to here. And then I will start adding signers. So I will add from my transaction, and I will add my buyer. There's a 22J, I'd have to add myself to sign, but typically it's just the buyer. So the forms that were done in transaction desk by me, it'll know where to put the signings. But the forms that were supplements, it typically doesn't, and you need to add the buyer's name and date. So we'll keep moving down. Purpose does not need to be signed. Okay, so for instance, the 22K. So I will move to tools and I will move John Doe's full name right here. I will move the auto date right there. And then I'll add John Doe's initial right there. Inspection is fine. Legal needs an initial. And then seller disclosure. Seller disclosure. You can sign line 1 that says you've accepted it. You've received it, but you want time to review it. Or sign line 1 and line 2 that says you've received it and you will not revoke your offer based off of the seller disclosure. Once I have that all filled out, I just want to click next. Bam. And then I send for my client for signing. Once I have the signed product, I would like to send an email to the seller with my offer, my pre-approval letter, and just maybe a little outline about my offer, some of the things that are strong about it. I also give the listing broker a call. I'll also offer the lender. We'll give the listing broker a call. Connecting with the broker is very important. Not just sending your offer without any communications. Yeah, so that's the gist of how to write a condominium offer. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, have a good day.